We are Resolute RE. We're a full-service commercial real estate firm. We are based corporately out of Austin, Texas. However, we have a number of offices throughout the South, from Albuquerque through to Bentonville, down to Louisiana, all across Texas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, into the Valley. However, we have a very dynamic national platform. We cover the entire country with our national account program. We have local brokers on the ground throughout the country. And this is what we're going to share with you today is how unique we are when it comes to our national platform. And we'll show you some slides to indicate what's the value add to Resolute over a competitor, if you will. So when we look at it, we come into this, and it's basically, we have a very holistic approach to this. So if you look at this slide right here, you'll see in the middle, that's you. You're the client. And what we do is we have the analytics team up on the left and the point broker for your account that's interviewed. But again, there's a single point of contact that comes from our house in the National Accounts program. What we do that's unique with Resolute RE is we lead with market analytics. We all know it and understand it's location, location, location. We know that's very important. However, you have to have market. You have to have that market foundation, that market understanding, that market discovery. So what the analytics team does is they provide that foundation, understanding what your market looks like today, but more importantly, what your market looks like tomorrow to age the data. You can have the best site in the world, but if the market's not there, i.e. share of wallet, it's not going to work for you. So we always spend a lot of time up front on the market analytics so you can understand what your market's going to look like. We as a company always look at this as if we're spending our own money. If you're a franchisee, to say, is this going to work? And sometimes it doesn't work, and there's a cold bucket of water that has to be thrown on top of it. We will be very open with you and tell you if this market is good. And then from there, we pass the baton to the real estate team, the local brokers on the ground. This is where you should be in the market. Run all around Atlanta if that's where you want to be. You should only be in Alpharetta. So therefore, it becomes a very efficient process in terms of real estate, because the analytics have put the walls up around the local broker. So you're not going to get sites all over the city. So that's what's really important with the analytics up front, is to really understand, give you that safety net. It's an insurance policy. So you know that the market is sound today, but again, I mentioned, but for tomorrow as well. So what we do, as you can see, we have a number of clients who work all around the country, and we also have a parallel program that works internationally. So you can see the map below. Everything that's in green, we've touched. We've worked in all of these countries. We have data on all of this. The gray doesn't mean we can't do it. We just haven't touched them yet. That's all. So when you're looking at this domestically, if you're interested internationally, we can definitely work with you there as well. So again, we work all across the United States, up to 130 countries. So this is the international program, the domestic program. It speaks to two things: customer behavior and customer pattern. Customer behavior has 6 different modules. Customer pattern has 1. Customer behavior is really about psychographics, the behavior of the individual, what makes them tick. It's their life cycle, it's their spending patterns, and where they're going at a different life cycle. What you spend it when you're 18 versus when you're 48 is very, very different. So that's what we will look at briefly, is customer behavior. The other part is customer pattern. Is once you understand the behavior of your client, where are they going? How long do they stay in a particular location? Where are they coming from to get to you? And where are they going afterwards? So this is the 2 components of the analytics program. The first one and foremost is Retail Compass, on identifying who is your ideal customer. And you can see here, there's 3 different, people get put into different buckets. There's a number of buckets. Again, it's based on life cycle. It's based on psychographic. So it's segmenting people. It's not the number of people in the market that's important. It's the types of people in the market. So you can see on this map here, there's a number of different colors. And we use drive times. People don't say, I'll meet you at your location in 5.2 miles. You say, I'll meet you there in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So we use drive times because that's more intuitive of what your market should look like. So you want to come up with is identifying is who your ideal customer is. And this, looking at these different buckets, this is what it looks like on a bigger scale. You can see all of the different buckets put into. It's not to say, oh, there's 100,000 people in my trade area. That's important because you need some sense of scale. Of that 100,000 people, how many are really going to come to me? And if we come back and say 10,000, all of a sudden your mindset is a little different as to expectation in terms of sales for a market. So we always lead with this. We call this market capacity. Who is your ideal client, and how many of them do you need to open a location or multiple locations? So what we do is we take that ideal customer and we develop for you franchise territories. So this map here in the top left is from Austin, Texas, and you can see the different colors. These are the different territories that are being predefined in Austin. And within that, we can go into, let's just use the yellow as an example and say, okay, there's enough of this ideal client in here to open 3 locations. So if you're a franchisor or going to be a franchisee, you can look at this and go, this is a 3-unit deal or a 4-unit deal. Then the maps below, you can zoom right down to understand, okay, it's a 4-unit deal. What's the low-hanging fruit? You have to start somewhere. You got to start with number 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4. So the key here with retail builder is marrying store capacity, market capacity. So you understand you're not leaving money on the table, because the last thing you want to do is purchase the yellow territory and go right into the middle of it. Okay. So that's why we do retail builder. So again, we will look at an entire city. We call it city skylines, taking market capacity, store capacity, and run different scenarios. And you can see here, this is for Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see all of these different, there's up to 19 potential locations in Dallas-Fort Worth. But you can see here, no 2 trade areas are the same size. Look at number 1 versus number 3. Very, very different based on the real estate. If you're next to a major highway, you can probably get on and get off much quicker, and travel a lot longer in 10 minutes than you say number 3, where you're kind of built in a secondary subdivision and whatnot. So city skylines will map out for you a conservative, moderate, aggressive approach. And that's based solely on how big you want your trade area to be. 100,000 people, 500,000 people, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So that's what the capacity scenarios really speak about, and we call it city skylines. Another tool that's very important is the toolbox. When you can come into it and take those, remember the psychographics, the behavior of people, what they spend money on. And we have this produced for Houston. You can see this data on the right-hand side. It takes a number of different categories. It covers all kinds of retail products. There's like 900 different retail products. And what it does is sets a benchmark of 100. That's what this here on the right refers to as average MPI, Market Potential Index. It sets up an average of 100. If it's over 100, you're spending more on that product and service. If it goes below 100, you're spending less on that product and service. So this is what the data looks like on the right, and that's what it's translated to on the map on the left. So you can see for these particular categories, and they do vary. We're showing a number of different variables, but you can see you want to be in the darker reds. You don't want to be on the east side of Houston. You want to be on the west, down in the south, and up towards the northwest. So this is another good piece of the puzzle to indicate to you, where the share of wallet is, where the money is. So that, again, it's tying the market first with the real estate. Let me get to at the end of the day is city market discovery. If you're wanting just to go in a city and see a high level understanding, this is what the data produces. This is Phoenix. You can see the backdrop underneath this is income. But what the client wanted to see was, show me the major intersections, because they're the gateways right into the retail, and show me the major malls. And this was for a coffee shop. And you can see we did draw radiuses around them, but it shows them exactly where the major retail areas are in Phoenix. So it really cuts down the noise. You start to understand where you should be. Okay. This part is the other part. This is now the customer pattern. This is commonly known as geofencing. It's artificial intelligence. It's understanding where your customer is coming and where they're going. This is tied directly to your cell phone data. It's the GPS. It's the lat long that's on your phone. You can't really turn this off. So it tracks you 24/7. This data comes from the AT&Ts and Verizons of the world. This data is refreshed basically daily. So you can follow where your customers are coming from and where they're going. So it's a very interesting operational piece to follow and understand and get a really good handle as to where they're, again, coming and going. So you can say, okay, my location is right here. The site, are they coming from home or are they coming from work? So you can understand which zip code they're coming from. So you know, I have a really good daytime pop, but I really don't have a good nighttime pop, but I want both. So you can really monitor that sort of pattern. And what it comes down to is it shows you, for an example, in Austin, Texas, this was for a burger bar. And you can see this is a heat map. You can see it's very concentrated right around the location, but you can see it does reach out. And what this refers to when they're reaching out is This area has a lot of office people as well. So this has a very strong daytime population as well as a strong nighttime population because there's a lot of residential. So you can see it very close, compact, right inside, but you can see why are these people away out here? Well, it's following you coming in from your house to work next door. And that's why it's showing you that large reach that you have for the daytime and nighttime. And again, this is what it shows you, 47% coming from home, 5% from work. And then you say, okay, where do they go afterwards? And then you can see this is where they're coming from home, coming from work, and going to other locations. This would be really helpful for you when you're looking at future locations to understand that every time they leave this burger bar, they always go to a Walmart or they always go to a fitness center. So when you're looking at future locations, it helps the real estate agent say to identify going, just look at all the Walmarts. And that's where we should be really looking because it's the same type of person that's coming from us to go to them. So it's a very good proactive real estate component. And you can see in perspective, you can benchmark against other locations to see how well a particular one of your locations compares to another in terms of the whole country, to the state, and to a local market. So it gives you that real benchmark understanding against even your competition. So you can see down here is comparing these two locations of the same company, but you can understand at the end of the day, it's very different in the sense of how one's performing relative to the other. And again, when I mentioned this is the map, I'm showing you the density as it collapses into the location. You can see it gets really light and then it gets darker and darker. So it shows you the road pattern of where people are coming and going. This is brand loyalty. It speaks to the day of the week that's very popular here. You can see Monday through Thursday, both locations are pretty much level. But then you can see they both step up on Friday and Saturday. The reason why you don't see the red on the one here for the Sunday is it's right downtown in Austin and it's closed on a Sunday. But you get to see, understanding too, the average stay time with these locations. How long are they spending at your particular location? So that's something to really look at. It's very, very powerful. And again, loyalty. In terms of retention, you want to have a loyal base, not a casual base. If your casual base is above your loyal base, that means there's a problem. People are one and done. They don't like they don't like what you offer. Maybe they don't like the staff, whatever atmosphere, whatever it happens to be. That is really a big one to look at frequency of visit. It depends on what you're looking at in terms of the type of brand that you have, and then you can see the accumulated visits. So that's really the RESOLUT RE offering. The key would be is for next steps, we would really love to meet with you, talk with you. If you want to, please reach out to David at resolutre.com or George at RESOLUT.RE. Again, we lead with analytics and we close with the real estate. That's what RESOLUT is. We work all around the globe. So please, we would welcome this. Again, the one bonus point is the analytics is free to you as long as we get the opportunity to do the real estate for you. So the analytics can range in $50,000, $60,000 for different reports, but we look at working with customers as a marathon. It's a long relationship that we want, and we were willing to put our skin in the game and energy with doing the analytics. But in return, we're a real estate company. We want to do the real estate. So please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to jump on a 10-minute call to discuss where you're looking to grow. So we thank you very much for your time today. Thank you.